Hey guys. So regarding the 10-point rule thing from last time, it's a little hard to put it into practice and show it as we go when these games just get really ridiculous and one-sided so quickly. Of course, I am planning to let us lose some of the games to, for various reasons. But it's okay. We just have 2 wins so far. Not a big deal. I believe when they do this in the 3-4 one, which is like not really Joseki, I think, we're supposed to keep pushing here. Whereas normally you just extend something like this, but yeah, let's follow Joseki. Or whatever this is, follow the pattern. Maybe it is Joseki, but no one high level I've ever seen attaches here on the 3-4, attaches on top. Usually only for the 4-4 sometimes. It's only Q players that I've ever seen doing this against the 3-4 low approach. But does that guarantee that it's not good? Not really, not really. Anyway, so if I cut here, white can just, for example, they can force me here and then just try to capture it. So probably Hane is the right way here. Cut, okay. Well, we have to go this way. If white wanted to double Hane, like if white wants a stone here, they could have just gone here directly. Atari first is a bad exchange. Because it gives me a Ponuki. It's just an unnecessary move. Could have gone here directly. Although, should I capture or should I extend? Maybe capture. Extend means that white could keep pushing and having a threat of Atari, which would be painful. I guess capture should be right. It really depends on like can white play here really well. So if white extends, we don't have the liberties to do stuff with this because of these 2 stones. If we push here, we're starting to lose our stones over here. So there isn't that much stopping white actually from extending again. That suggests that maybe I should extend. That way if white pushes, we can Hane and grow while white's trying to grow, as opposed to just capturing, and then white extends into open space and doesn't really get punished for this very easily. So okay, we'll extend. That one's not really a good choice because it doesn't give more liberties to this stone over here, and that means that when I push here, if they Hane, there's an Atari there. If white wants to just fix, it's much better to connect solid. That way, against a push here, you could even double Hane, for example. It's a big difference, actually. So we're going to go ahead and take that push. We have plenty of time still to get into here. Ignore? This Hane is going to be pretty painful. All right, we do want to get some points over here. It's too far away to say that we're going to push white into it, right? So we'll just treat it as potential in this case. And I guess this one. Maximum distance so that we can get some potential. Usually when your opponent attaches to the 3-3 inside of your 3-4 point, you should Hane here. It's wrong to play here, not only because you give them a huge corner in the end, but you also don't have a stone here already. The only time it's even really thinkable to play here and make a wall like that is if you already have something here. That's because white can live in Sente and then come here first. This one, which also makes better use of this stone to deprive white of a base. So now the vital point here, the shape that both players want should be this one. No thinking, okay. I think in this case, rather than connect here, we're not expecting white to die. Expecting this white to die is quite a dream. So it seems like getting the outside is really attractive. Now the question is, do we want to Hane here? Do we want to play somewhere here to build the Moyo? Do we want to exploit this part here? It certainly doesn't look big enough compared to other stuff. It's really more if white can save it while also causing us a problem. That's really what I'm thinking about. I mean, technically that stone, even if white hanes and extends, that stone still cannot be captured. So there's some weakness there. Maybe that means we should just play super solid like that. Or push and see what white does.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, since white is playing there, that means they can't do this without getting atari'd. So that changes something. It means if they bump and play here, we could Atari. We could play here.
9, 8, 7, 6.
Now Pincer, often I play something like this, especially when I'm trying to show simple moves, but, you know, avoid complication. But Pincer is way too correct right now, I think. We could play a high Pincer maybe to make it harder for white to press us down.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Okay. I'll just play here. It looks kind of visually right. Okay, this person likes to attach like that. Yeah, that's a little bit better than this one, I think. So I can Atari or I can extend. In this case,
9, 8, 7.
Maybe Atari.
6.
That's correct. Okay, so probably we should do this one.
Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I don't want a white turn or like a white move here, for example, to affect our life and death. And then white gets to play all the way to there. Sorry if my mouse is glitching out, by the way. I have something running in the background doing some stuff that is like hardware intensive. So it's hurting my performance a little bit.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Not my Go performance. It's hurting my PC performance or my Fox, you know, the Fox client. Okay, so double Hane because white has a massive Liberty shortage. Yeah. Yeah. Q players like to Atari at every chance. I say this because if that's you, then you can think about that, whether always playing Atari is right. In this case, Atari looks okay. But sometimes we want to save the possibility of the other one. Looks like continuing to push is good because it's still a Liberty shortage for white. And there's still a Liberty shortage. There's a chance that they sacrifice these two stones later and just try to wreck me over here, though. But even right now, if I Atari, white might ignore us. So I don't really have that chance. But then again, we can still live on the edge very easily. It's not easy for us to capture this stone anyway, because... I mean, we can kind of capture it by playing 1, 2, 3, 4, Hane, white extends, then we come back, and then white would be stuck in here. But We also could just try to make a base.
8, 7, 6,
I kind of want to play this one though.
4.
It feels nice to do this. They can't make cutting points for us yet with this push because that would turn that into a ladder just now. But now we have to go back and fix, I think. We can't play a net because push and Atari. But now white is just stuck in here. I think white's just dead here. So that's why even though the net didn't work, the sequence results in white being stuck inside. We also do have this ladder if white cuts that. There's not much white can really do.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm just going to force white to make bad exchanges here, which is just going to make us stronger and stronger. I'm purposely letting white break out because I still don't think that they can survive here. I could even do the same thing again. Purposely play a net that doesn't work. Push, Atari. Extend, Hane. Atari. I know I'm going against the thing about not reading or not doing complicated reading, but this is too much fun, right?
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, I'll behave. White's not going to live in here anyway. There's just nowhere for white to go. Hmm.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Don't block with an empty triangle. Okay, so we can block here. We also don't need to. We could just go back here if we want that kind of shape. None of it really matters if white's just dead inside. So just go here. Still, this is not going to be two eyes, right? There's no way, there's no reason to freak out. If you're playing black. I mean, to be honest, even if this lived, black would be quite good still, I think, but there's no reason to panic about this tiny eye space.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
There's no realistic way for white to make two eyes here. Even with two moves in a row, one here and one here, I could still play in the middle. The only way white actually lives is by catching us on some kind of shape or like liberty mistake. So this is still not a threat of living, right? Because again, if white plays here, we can play in the middle. There's also no way for white to make an eye around here. So therefore, even if all we do is just fix our cutting point.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Any move, doesn't matter. I chose this one, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. All right, so what did we learn from this one? I'm really not trying to do anything like taking advantage of their level or anything like that. Like I'm just playing all the expected moves They play here, so okay, fine, capture. Atari, I connect here. I'm just doing like expected things, right? Sorry, it's yeah, glitching out a lot right now. Like I'm never trying to kill them when they shouldn't be, when they should, like I'm not doing anything unreasonable. I'm just letting them do what they want to do. I even played here. This is also like all according to White's plan, right? I didn't really do anything unnatural or forced or like, you know, that they shouldn't expect. If anything, this might be the most fancy thing that I did, so apologies for that. But if you look at it, it is pretty easy to understand. It's hard to maybe like find the right situations for it. But like if they try to push, then we Atari and this becomes a ladder. So they can't push here. They need that liberty. But now we take it away. This cut, we have a ladder. And here they have like no liberties, and then they're just stuck in all this sea of death over here, right? So game is over. I mean, they could try to keep playing by not trying to save this group. And you also don't have to be fancy like this. You could just play anything like that and let White run into nothingness, and then they just die. So even if you fix your cut here, you have a good chance to capture this. Part of that is because we kept making shapes that have no actual severe weakness. Everything is alive. So White doesn't really have special things to work with to make something happen. They can certainly live with something if they play around here, but they chose to just run this thing. So yeah. And then that's kind of all she wrote. Okay. I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know, yeah, your thoughts about this game and whether you learned anything. Whether you guys run into players that do maybe some of these tactics that you're seeing. Yeah, you'll notice that at these, at 5Q and levels around here, or even like 3Q, 1Q, there's people just try to, like, this person wasn't necessarily that unreasonable, except for this group, but people just constantly try to kill and constantly try to get things that they don't really deserve to get. I mean, you shouldn't expect to get ahead if your opponent didn't make any mistakes. That's a good sign of overplay, right? You're overplaying if you're trying to get ahead, like out of nowhere, out of thin air, right? Okay, see you guys in the next one.